This episode may contain content of a graphic nature, including descriptions of physical and sexual violence against adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised.
I prefer my women dead.
You mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother, yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Talia.
And I'm Tanya.
And together we are Crimes and Consequences, a true crime podcast.
I prefer my women dead.
You mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother, yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
Hey, Tanya.
Hi, Talia.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Crimes and Consequences. This one's bad.
Oh, no.
For real.
Really?
You know how we always are like, oh, I've heard it all.
Mm-hmm.
This one really, you're going to be like, okay, now I've heard it all.
Really? It's that bad?
It's so
Great.
bad. I'm not even going to say some of it. I'm just going to let the killer talk because he confessed. But I'm going to give you some background.
Okay.
Before I get started, just want to ask everybody, hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever app you're listening to us on right now. And I'm going to start. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Buckled up.
It was around 10 a.m. on a cool March morning in 2014 when this couple heard a knock on their front door. They lived at 3800 block of County Road 61 in Robstown, Texas. When they opened the door, they found a teen there, and he'd asked them if he could use their phone. They thought he seemed harmless enough, so they let him in. But before he went to use the phone, he decided to share with them the reason why he needed it. He had just murdered his mother.
Oh, no.
And sexually assaulted her corpse.
Oh, no. No.
Yes.
His mother?
It's so gross.
Oh.
It's so nasty. He didn't look like he could harm a fly. 18-year-old Kevin Jacksreal Davis. He stood only 4'8" and weighed 90 pounds.
Really? He was tiny.
I saw the affidavit for his arrest, and it said he was 4'8", 90 pounds. So there has to be something going on there because he's 18 years old.
Right.
I did a lot of research on this case, but I didn't get a lot of answers. So I do not have the answers as to why he's standing 4'8". But you can imagine he didn't seem very intimidating to this couple.
No.
Well, until he mentioned he murdered his mother.
Oh, you just murdered someone.
The woman called 911, and here is a part of that call.
911, location of emergency. Yes, ma'am. Someone just knocked on my door. He's here at my door right now, and he wanted me to call 911 because he said he just murdered someone.
Kevin then got on the phone, and he told the police that he killed his mom, and she could be found in their downtown Corpus Christi apartment, and he gave the address. The county police immediately responded to the call, and they dispatched a few officers to the 4300 block of a street I can't pronounce, where Kevin lived with his 50-year-old mother, Kimberly Hill. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in the Windrush apartment complex, which is literally in downtown Corpus Christi. It's a small apartment complex. Kimberly was basically a single mom. She raised Kevin and his older sister. Her name was Desiree. Desiree was 24, Kevin's 18, so it's about 6 years apart. Kimberly and Desiree had a really good relationship. Desiree had moved out. She had her own apartment, and I know that she was working at a restaurant as a waitress. And Kimberly and her just were always in contact, very close. Kimberly literally was a very patient and kind, doting mom, which makes what happened to her just even more shocking and horrible. There's nothing this woman could have ever done in her life to deserve what her son does to her. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kimberly Diane Hill. She was born on March 28th in 1963. She was murdered one day before her 51st birthday. For 10 years, and this is from 82 to 92, Kimberly was a proud Marine corporal. In 1990, when Desiree was only a few months old, Kimberly got deployed to Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
She was there for about 4 months in Operation Desert Storm. Her family took care of Desiree while she was overseas. And it wasn't long after she got back that she left the Marine Corps. I looked at pictures of her on an obituary that was online, and I can tell that Kimberly got married sometime in the early 80s to a man, and I'm not sure what happened to their relationship, but I know he's not Desiree's father, and he's certainly not Kevin's father. I don't think she got married again after that. She wasn't married to Desiree's father, and she wasn't married to Kevin's father. It was on December 27th in 1995 that she welcomed Kevin Jazriel Davis into her life. Now, Kevin's father lived in Fort Worth, and as Kevin described him, he was, quote, an idiot.
Oh, okay.
I know that Kevin had a half-brother that lived in Corpus Christi, and from what I heard, Kevin's dad just really wasn't in his life. According to police records, Kevin is biracial. He's African-American and Caucasian. There's still a Facebook page for Kimberly. Her family left it up in her honor.
Aww.
And I looked it up just to get an idea of what Kimberly was like. The very last Facebook post was made 2 days before she was murdered. In it, she stated she was, quote, feeling wonderful. She just went to a Cher concert, and it was the best concert ever. It was awesome.
Oh, that's cute.
There's pictures of her skydiving. I know she loved animals. She loved cats. She gardened. Prior to her death, she was working at hospice.
Oh, man, she's like an angel.
She was a caregiver for those getting ready to pass on.
Those people are angels.
Really, honestly.
They really are. Like, no joke.
That's got to be one of the hardest jobs.
Has to be.
She's like a saint in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Desiree is just a lovely, normal human being. But Kevin, oh man, he's got a real dark side, and he is really weird. He didn't have a lot of friends. He didn't like people in general. He had antisocial personality disorder. According to him, he'd had a very dark fantasy world since his preteen years. He said that there were clues in his behavior of what his fantasies were, and I will get to those fantasies. But his family just kind of blew it off. I mean, they're his family. He said he was young and he was angst and he had a lot of energy, and they just didn't see the signs.
Well, you don't want to think your kid's fucking weird, right?
Well, I think it'd be pretty hard not to think this one is.
Oh, no.
He described himself as mediocre in school. He never got past 10th grade at the Ray High School, it was called. He hated sports, and he never had a girlfriend. The only sexual experience he ever had, and buckle up everybody, was with a gray cat named Claire.
Man, Clea.
I'm
fucking
sorry.
A.
It's so gross. I am going to play you a clip from Kevin of his first sexual experience.
Oh, man.
And if animal cruelty is a trigger, just fast forward like 1 minute.
It's going to be a minute.
No, I'm trying to be safe with them, Tanya.
All right.
We used to have a gray cat named Claire. Oh, yeah, VCL. He was a thing of mine, too. Now you know. And so I strangled it. I drowned it, and then I cut it open. And you know the rest. You kind of get the rest.
You had sex with the cat? With the dead cat?
Yeah, ripped it open, stuck it in there. Yeah.
You ever had sex with a live person?
No.
So that your thing, having sex with a live person, that doesn't turn you on. It's dead thing, dead person, dead animals. That's what turns you on.
I don't necessarily mind. I don't have standards or morals. Body's a body, in the end, piece of meat. I guess it's harsh to say, but
I am speechless.
Oh, he's so gross.
Very gross. Meat is meat, I guess.
At least he can acknowledge he has no standards whatsoever. Police showed up to apartment 1707 at the Windrush apartment complex, and they were greeted with a horrible scene. There was a trail of blood that led from the living room into one of the bedrooms, and in that bedroom was the body of Kimberly, naked from the waist down. Her skull had been split in two, and her brain, which was mutilated, was exposed. Next to it was a bloody hammer and a knife. and there were 3 notes scattered around the apartment. During an interrogation with Kevin, he detailed the events that led to the murder the night before. It was about 6 p.m. when he decided to write a suicide note. And then he asked his mom for permission to kill himself. Here's a clip of that.
Start at the beginning, man. What caused all this?
Well, the very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die, or rather kind of commit suicide, the sort of beating around the bush sort of thing. Because, well, that doesn't really matter why I wanted to kill myself.
Sure it does. Tell us.
I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is. And so I wrote the note.
From what I gathered, Kimberly basically had had enough with his antics. I don't think she really believed he was suicidal. I don't think that was what was going on. I think that was just some sort of strange and twisted game that Kevin was maybe playing with his mom. She told him that she had enough of him. He was an adult. He could do what he wanted to do. She would learn to cope with things. Now, this is all what he's saying, she said. She was going to reach out to his sister and have her come get him, and he was going to have to stay with his sister for a while. And based on my research, he had stayed with his sister before when things had gotten too out of control. Kimberly was sitting on the couch watching TV while Kevin mulled over the situation. He then flipped the suicide note over and began writing about new plans to murder and rape his mother and his sister. And here is a clip.
And then on a whim, actually, I turned it over, wrote a plan to kill both my mother and my sister, quite frankly, because that's always been a thing of mine. I'm a bit of a pervert.
Is it like a fantasy thing?
It is, actually. So that didn't act. The best laid plans never work out, apparently, or at least the one scribbled on a piece of paper, because she had decided she was sick of this stuff. She was going to go send me to live with my sister again. And so I kind of leapt off in a fury and just did it right then and there.
And that's when he decided he had to kill his mom, right then and there, before she got a hold of his sister and sent him to live with her. I find it really fascinating how just nonchalant he is in talking about all this. No emotion. You heard that. No, nothing. Just like he's reading a book report.
Right. Very odd.
Very stoic.
Mm-hmm.
While Kimberly was sitting on the couch, Kevin came up behind her with a cord from a Nintendo console. He tried to strangle her. Fighting ensued. She struggled. She started screaming. And I'm not sure how this all took place, but at some point he ran into her bedroom. He grabbed a hammer from her dresser drawer, and he attacked her in the living room with it, striking her over the head a minimum of 20 times.
Oh, damn.
I tried to strangle her with a cord, a ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
Where was this at your father's finger?
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and, well, you kind of get the gist from there. And she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No. First, I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work. Right. She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
Okay. How many times did you hit with the hammer in the living room?
At least 20.
Kimberly still wasn't dead. I'm sure she wasn't conscious, but Kevin described her as making snoring sounds. So then he ends up dragging her into the bedroom, leaving this trail of blood on the floor. At some point, he grabbed a knife and he used it on her brain. But at first, he didn't remember that detail when he was talking to the police. And here's what he has to say about that.
There was some blood in the knife, but you said you never used it. I guess just blood just from where you grabbed it or on the...
Oh, that knife. Actually, I used that to stir her brains up a little, but then that didn't really work out, so I just kind of decided to delve on in.
Did you do that in the living room or the bedroom? Because we found that it wasn't in the bedroom.
I may have started at.
So,
yeah, actually, I used the knife in the living room, and then didn't I take it with me?
So her brains were already kind of coming out in the living room when you dragged her?
Yes, but she was still snoring like a baby, and so I just kind of dragged her.
Explain to how you grabbed her so that you wouldn't leave such a mess in the carpet.
That...
Did you carry her from underneath the arms and just dragged her, or how did you drag her?
It was very sloppy, actually. Yeah. I kind of just winged it. I dragged her from her shirt. I dragged her by her legs. I dragged her by any way I kind of felt. I mean,
Okay.
I don't really exert physical labor, too, so I'm not a very strong person.
How he has to be reminded he used a knife?
Oh, yeah, that knife.
I don't get that. For some reason, Kevin decided he wanted to touch his mother's brain. I have no idea why. This is him describing how that happened.
But then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw. And then I kind of warmed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay. So she was still alive?
She was still alive. Actually.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, finished it.
All right. And where did you hit her with the hammer?
The head.
All in the head area?
All in the head, I believe. I may have gotten her hand because she was covering herself.
Okay. And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed her brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then yeah, I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
Mm-hmm.
A psychiatrist that later examined Kevin and would testify said, quote, he used a hammer to kill his mother, and of course, the skull split open. He wanted to make certain that she was dead. He stuck his hand in the skull and mixed up the brains. Then I think he told me he got a knife and mixed them up. Then he said that it felt like putty. The consistency of the brain tissue, it felt like putty. And he said something about tasting the brain, end quote.
Girl.
And if you thought this story couldn't get any worse, you were so wrong.
It gets worse.
It gets way worse. Kevin removed his mother's pants and her underwear, and he proceeded to rape her body until he orgasmed with his mother's corpse. Here's a clip.
And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Okay. Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like had sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This was just the first time?
Oh, yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay.
Just when you thought you'd heard it all, Tanya.
I am so done with people right now. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, what the fuck?
Dude.
I don't know what to say. It's so disturbing.
And he's all like, then I had sex with her corpse. Okay.
And then after that, he took a bath because he was covered in his mother's blood. And let's listen to him explain that, because it's fucking gross.
Did you change in the bathroom? Did you?
I did. I took a bath before then. My penis really, well, that's a little personal, but yeah, I needed to clean it off, and so, and then I changed. Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about that, but I'm not going to get into it.
It's a little personal, but I'm so disgusted right now.
Kevin left 3 notes at the crime scene. One was meant for the police, and it read, quote, chase me, sorry for the mess, KD, Kevin Davis. Kevin explained that he was originally going to wait for his sister to come over and get him, and then he was going to kill her, because he has really twisted fantasies about his sister, too. But instead of sticking around, he decided to throw some clothes in a backpack, and he took off on his bike. And it's about maybe 10 p.m. at this point. Kimberly's car was parked outside, but Kevin had never learned to drive. So instead, he hops on his bike, and he pedals down some old railroad tracks, heading towards a nearby town called Robstown. And I told you before, that's about maybe 18 miles away. He spent the night in the woods. And as morning came, the reality of what he did set in. He said he began bawling his eyes out, realizing that you don't know what you got until it's gone.
Oh, boy.
He knew he no longer had a future. His was hopeless. So he decided he was just going to ditch his bike and backpack. And that's when he walked to the nearest house to use the phone.
He realized his life was over, but he was just saying that he hated life. So what difference does it make?
He had mentioned something about he was just going to take off running and never come back. See where he ends up. So why didn't he stick around? Why didn't he kill his sister after all he wrote about it, all the nasty things he wanted to do to her on the back of his suicide note?
Was it a fantasy of yours to kill her as well?
It was.
Did you write down that on your note?
Oh, I did, actually, but I decided against it because, well, I'd had my fill of killing. I didn't... seemed a little much.
Mm-hmm.
A little too excessive, yeah.
Before he left a note specifically for his sister. And he's such an asshole that he's totally messing with his sister, who just by the grace of God didn't come to that apartment and find her mom. He left a note for Desiree. Here's a clip.
Okay.
Let's talk about the notes that you wrote. How many notes did you write?
3.
3. There was one in the living room.
Yeah.
That one was addressed to who?
Desiree, my sister, because I knew she's a good girl, but rather sensitive. I knew she would lose her head if she kind of saw that.
You remember what the note said?
Keep your head. Hurry. She might still be alive, although I highly doubt it, in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines, yeah. Sincerely.
But when you wrote the note, you knew your mom was already dead.
Oh, yeah, I knew it. And, you know,
So you're just messing with Desiree by writing that she might still be alive?
Yeah, my sick sense of humor.
Okay.
I was pretty well off my rocker by then.
All right.
I have no words.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Well, he had 2 more notes. As I told you, one was, police chase me. And of course, there's the note that discusses in detail the fantasies he has regarding his mother and his sister. And here's what he has to say about having sexual intercourse with his mother's body.
What kind of thrill did you get by having sex with her?
I'd always loved my mother, I guess in the wrong sort of way, but a kind of love, I guess. Maybe some rage.
Okay.
Maybe just a little.
Was it in a Freudian style?
Freudian? I kind of get where you're coming from. Sure, why not? Yeah.
All right.
God bless the Corpus Christi police officers trying to just casually talk to him like they're just having a conversation.
Yeah, you know.
So how'd you feel having sex with your mom's corpse? Like, it's just...
I know. These poor officers.
Honestly, that had to have just been so surreal.
I know. Your husband comes home from work. So, honey, how was your day?
Well,
guess what? Seriously.
Right?
I need some fucking therapy after this.
I guess he got some sort of love and some sort of rage from having sex with her corpse. I don't really understand exactly. I don't really understand what the thrill was.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, yeah, he said he always loved her.
In the wrong way.
Yeah, in the wrong way. So I guess that was it.
They asked him how long he'd had these dark fantasies of rape and murder for. And it's been a while, according to him. Well, I'll just play it.
You ever tell anybody else what your plans were? That, what you wanted to do, your mom or your sister?
No, but over the years, there were hints. As a younger boy, I was a lot dumber, a lot more angsty, I said things, but I guess they basically brushed it off. I guess the hints were everywhere, but they're my family, and family looks past that kind of stuff, or they try to not look at it, I guess.
The interrogators asked him if he regretted what he did. Did he have any sort of emotion, a regret for killing his mother? What do you think, Tanya?
No.
Let's see if you're right.
You feel sorry you did this to your mom?
In a way, yes, but I Wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her, in a way.
Has she been mean to me?
Oh, no, she's been the best mother.
Okay, so she is nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a
Terrible
cruel,
person.
disgusting person.
Fucker. He does seem to have some sort of insight into how fucked up he is.
I guess.
He knows that she didn't deserve it.
She was wonderful.
She was a great mom.
Damn.
I'm just dumbfounded by all of this.
I am too. I just don't understand. Like, we do these podcasts and we always wonder why someone does something. And with an answer like that, what's the answer? Why did he do it? I don't know, just for
shits and giggles.
I guess. He loved her in his way. She was a great mom.
But
she didn't deserve it.
But he had fantasized
I
about...
know. What the hell is that all about?
Oh, it's so gross. So how did he come up with this idea, this plan?
Oh, great. How?
Let's hear what he has to say.
How'd you come up with the idea to kill her and have sex with her?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, was it?
It's been a developing
Just,
idea.
But you haven't gotten ideas from games or videos, or you're not into some of those dark games?
Some things inspired me, but they did not necessarily plant the seed.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? They didn't plant the seed, but they did egg me on, rather, I guess.
Is that the books you've been reading?
Not necessarily. I watched them. I recently got into watching some foreign movies, creepy stuff, not necessarily mainstream horror, the kind of stuff that you keep away from.
Oh, okay. So are you into witchcraft? Anything like that?
No. Not right. I guess it sounds kind of strange.
I'm just interested because it's something unusual, and you're here telling us about it, and you appear to be a nice guy. You appear to be a good guy. You're not yelling and screaming at
You
us.
seem very rational.
You're very rational. You appear to be a good guy. This is what I'm trying to figure out. That's all.
Well, despite how I ended her life, I'm kind of more fascinated by the more artistic ways of murder, the meticulous manner, the way they cut them open, just slice them to pieces. I mean, such care, such love.
Oh, that was a serial killer in the making right there.
Absolutely.
How creepy was that?
The way they cut them open with such care.
Such love and care.
What?
Oof.
If he didn't get caught...
Oh, for sure, right?
He would have definitely done it again. And you'll see he later admits that. So do you think Kevin thinks he's insane?
No.
You would be correct. He does not think he's insane. Does he want to kill again?
Yes.
Well, let's see what he has to say.
I'm not mentally disturbed. I mean, I'm sane. I know exactly what I did. I know that it's wrong in the traditional sense of wrong.
Hello.
It was just a fantasy you had, and you had to carry it out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Now I feel vaguely kind of like I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you still feel like you're done with your mom? Do you still feel like you want to keep on killing? To keep on, with other fantasies? Or how do you feel?
I came here to pay for my crimes, so I guess I should continue with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully,
Yes, definitely.
I would kill again.
Mm-hmm.
how about us? You think you want to kill us?
Oh, no, rather, men aren't my thing, actually.
Women.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, no, not men. What a creepy fuck.
What does it mean, the traditional sense of wrong?
What is the traditional sense of wrong as opposed to the untraditional sense of wrong?
How in his brain could this possibly be like an unconventional right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what this is? Because it's, the traditional sense of wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah.
What is this? Well, would you like to hear Kevin's ultimate fantasy? Just say yes. Just say yes.
Of course.
Tanya's only giggling because this is so uncomfortable for her.
This is so messed up, you guys.
We've been taking little breaks in which she can just let it all out.
Oh, my God.
Before I let Kevin tell you his ultimate fantasy, we're going to take a break. In the interim, buckle up because it's horrific. Okay, we're back and we are going to listen to Kevin describe his ultimate fantasy.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't.
You
I've
don't?
never had a girlfriend.
No.
I tell you what, give me your fantasy of killing a woman. Oh, your fantasy killing would be your ace killing. What could that be?
This is a little peculiar. I'm on camera. Okay.
I'm not surprised at what I'm going to hear, but you tell me.
Maybe dressing up in a nice suit, sneaking into her house, disabling her boyfriend. I'd bring a pretty dress with me to dress her up in. I was always into strangling, but after that last blunder, I guess maybe something big and sharp would be more along my thing. And I could, I don't know, probably decapitate her, as I prefer my women dead.
Okay.
I would dress her up. I'd stitch her up. Kind of try to work the head back on, perhaps. And then I'd go to town, and it would be a night to remember. And then I'd kind of just burn everything and run for the hills.
You mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother. Yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
It'd be a night to remember.
Go to town.
Go to town. What the hell was that?
I got nothing. I got nothing. That is straight out of a horror movie.
What the hell happened to him?
He just has these fantasies that literally are from horror films.
Damn.
It's going to decapitate her, stitch her head up.
Stitch her back together.
Put a pretty dress on her.
Yeah, put a pretty dress on her and then go to town.
Be a night to remember. He prefers his women dead.
Wow. I'm sorry. This is so messed up.
Those poor detectives.
I know. If I was one of those detectives, I'd be like, I'm sorry, we got to take a break. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I got to go grab a coffee or something. I gotta go splash some water in my face or something.
I mean, what do you say? Well, we all have our flavors. Yours is...
Yeah, yours is okay.
Dead. Like, what?
What? I know.
And you just have to pretend it's okay. You want to keep on talking. Yeah, hey, I'm not judging you at all.
At all. Never.
Sick fuck.
Wow. That was a lot.
It's very disturbing. Right before his trial in 2014.
This fuckface went to trial?
He was going to. He pled guilty right beforehand.
Thank God.
During the sentencing phase, Desiree took the stand and she said, quote, "She was the best mother that you could ask for. She just worked 2 jobs. You took the only person who had your back. Now you are all alone," end quote. His grandpa took the stand and he said, "I don't know quite what to say to you. You killed your mother. You just don't do that." Which I thought was a little bit, didn't really say enough.
It's a little white bread. You just don't do that.
During the sentencing phase, Kevin would smile. He would crack his knuckles. He'd stretch out. When the witnesses, like his sister and his grandpa, they took the stand just to testify about the effects of the murder and what it had on them, they would, in court, say, do you recognize the defendant, Kevin Davis? And he would wave to them.
What?
Just to be like a jerk, or I don't know why.
Hey. Hi.
Right. I don't know why. It took less than an hour for the jury to come back with a sentence of life in prison without parole. Was kind of surprised he didn't get the death penalty.
That was Texas. I'm surprised.
I mean, if that doesn't qualify for a death penalty case, I don't know what does. I mean, I really don't care one way or the other because he's going to rot in Texas prison, but I was just a little bit surprised by that.
Me too.
Kevin Davis is now 26 years old, and he is currently housed in a Texas correctional facility somewhere in Texas. Probably still very disturbed, I'm assuming. And I don't know what else to say. That's just really it. I don't even know how to end this. It's so...
This is messed up.
Gruesome and so horrible. And that poor Kimberly Hill, to have her son do this.
I know. And by all accounts, she was a wonderful person. I mean,
it's just the humiliation of what he did to her after her death. And the disregard for her as a human, his own mother, who, by all accounts, he loved and was just a great mom. How could he do that and feel nothing? He is a psychopath. There is just no doubt about it. There's no ifs or ands about it. There's nothing remotely close to a human emotion in this monster.
No, and he was very matter-of-fact in all of his statements. So, I mean, it was just like, oh, well, you know what? Since I've told you everything, I might as well just keep going.
And for those that wonder, he was not deemed to be mentally ill. There's no mental illness, no mental incompetency, nothing. He just has a personality disorder, which they didn't say what his personality disorder was. But, I mean, I can tell you it at least is antisocial. At the minimum, he's probably got a few other things going on.
Well, that was horrible.
In general, he's just a soulless monster. So,
wow.
That was horrible.
That was bad.
I'll put a link to his interrogation so you can see him as he talks on our website, crimesandconsequences.com. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to us. I know this one was exceptionally horrible. If you haven't done so already, I would like to ask you to hit the subscribe or follow button on your favorite app and remind you that we have an Apple channel in which you can get exclusive episodes not released to the public. We also have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/TNT Crimes, where you get the same material as the Apple channel. We have at least 170 minis and full episodes that are private just for our paid members. You can also get this episode and our weekly episodes that are released to the public ad-free and early by subscribing. We have social media.
At Hardcore True Crime on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you. I totally just zoned out.
That's
yeah,
all
I'm
right.
still
It
thinking
happens.
back to what I just told you all about. What else we got? We have merchandise. You can find that on our website.
Crimesandconsequences.com.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What else? Anything?
That's it. No.
It doesn't matter, does it?
No,
I'm just going to go in a corner and rock myself.
honestly.
Soothe myself somehow.
If you guys haven't watched it, Talia and I appear on True Crime Daily
Yeah.
on YouTube.
You have to check us out. It's another 2 really horrible stories that we discuss with Anna Garcia on her podcast, True Crime Daily.
And that was for the week of...
I believe that was released May 27th.
Thank you, Talia. So
Yeah,
if you're
you're
interested,
welcome.
check us out on YouTube, or you can listen to it on their podcast on your podcast app.
Yeah, you can see what we look like when we're talking if you go to YouTube and check it out. Before we go, I want to thank the people that suggested this case to us, one being at True Crime ERN, Erica, and the others we can't actually
Access at the moment.
access the
because-
information at the moment. The document will not open.
Yeah, great. So we're really sorry.
So if you want to reach out to us, let us
Yes.
know. We will give you a shout out next week for it. I am so sorry. But thank you guys so much. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I gotta go.
I know. Let's go.
I
This
gotta
is messed
take
up.
a shower.
Damn.
Something.
Until our next one.
Don't kill each other.
Bye.
Bye.